Really excited to be presenting on how AI can enhance or ruin your video strategy. And AI has changed in the last number of, well, gosh, I was going to say years, pardon me, months, days. Everything is changing on a regular basis. And even, if you were taking a look at AI in video in the last 2 weeks, it was even crazy to see the tool like Sora that was coming out with new releases and partnerships and, their conversation with Disney and changing all these things. And all of a sudden, they just decide, you know what, we're just going to completely can the entire platform. So, because of all that, today it is not our goal to go through point and click on what tools you should use and how to use the tools, because by the time this webinar is done, that may be expired, right? So we won't need that anymore. And so what we want to focus on is how it can improve your video strategy. And remember that strategy is always better than tools. Now, to illustrate that a little bit, I want to show you a quick video. I think everyone will enjoy this. Videographers will enjoy it even more so, because whenever you come across a new tool, there's always similar conversations about it and companies react to it. So let's enjoy a video. Oh, sorry, agenda first. There we go. Quick agenda here. Number one, why video matters. What's actually changed in video and AI? What is gimmick versus gold? We're going to show you a little bit of what happened with our big game and a video series that we released during the Super Bowl. And then last, definitely not least, we've got a special offer for people here today. This is not going to be published afterwards. This is not going to go out on YouTube. It is just for the awesome people that are part of this webinar here today. It's also free. Okay, so it's not like an offer where it's like you get like 3% off something. No, no, it's completely free. And we've got a really cool offer for you. But before I get into that, this is a whole webinar about video. And so we want to actually share a video just for fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. And the reason why I show that video is because today it's not about tools. It's about digital marketing that actually works. Sometimes people say, "Whoa, should we do AI in our video?" And that's almost the last question that you need to ask yourself in terms of what you should be doing with your marketing. It's about marketing that works. And we believe in digital marketing that actually works so much as a firm, we literally trademarked the phrase digital marketing that actually works. All right. We trademarked this years ago. And because this is just what we believe in, this is what matters. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, as I do that, I've got, I think, 3 or 4 slides that I've probably shared in a previous webinar. So if you see it, don't think, oh, he's talking about the same thing. I'm going into a lot of other areas, but I want to talk a little bit about creativity because creativity, these are the 3 slides that I'm going to repeat. Creativity is currently the best way to maximize advertising profitability. All right, can I say that again? Creativity is the best way to maximize advertising profitability. Now, this is not just a statement, it's a fact. This is from the Creative Dividend System One Group PLC. This was presented last year at Agency Award Show. And beside brand size, so brand size is all the way up here. Now, this means that like if you're a massive brand, whatever you do, you're just going to sell a whole bunch with your advertising. Why? Because you actually just already have the brand to amplify that message. But if you're not a massive company, you're on this webinar here today, what is the best way to multiply your profitability on advertising? Which means you put an advertising dollar in, you get another dollar out, or in this case, you get 12 times the return. The number one thing you can do that is within your control is to improve your creative quality. Okay, so what is creative quality? It is the quality of the creatives that you're putting out there, the images, the copy, the video. And so why are we here today is that if the number one way to grow your profitability is creative quality, video is creative. And so we now are unlocking and unleashing different tools, different things that we can now do as a company, as an agency, as a partner to help you improve your profitability. Now, as I say this, I know a lot of people immediately think, oh my goodness, just advertising. I'm in B2B sales. No, I don't care if you're in B2B sales because according to this was Forbes, 73% of B2B buyers prefer video when researching solutions. So even if you're selling like enterprise systems, if you're a wealth manager, if you're a manufacturing place, 73% of B2B buyers prefer video for taking a look at what you do. So don't think, oh, this is B2B and B2C. No, no, we're talking about humans that are trying to understand new concepts. So 12xing your profitability within advertising is now possible, but only with the right strategy. Okay. Because it's about strategic marketing and not just tactical marketing. So, first off, I want to talk a bit about what has actually changed. Okay. What has changed in the industry that has led to this massive shift within advertising and video? So, the biggest shift that we're seeing is that AI can reduce, I should actually not say is, I'm going to say can. AI can reduce time across video production and editing. Okay, this is the big one, right? People that didn't have massive budgets before can now compete with smaller budgets. And now you think, well, what video production? There's actually way too many to actually talk about today. So I'm talking in general terms of, hey, using a video and AI, but it can mean a lot of things. It can mean your social media videos, your explainers, your testimonials, your presentation, your ads, your teasers, your product demos, your sales demos. Think about all the ways you could use them. This is the percentage of companies that use this, like different types of videos within their company. So number one use case is social media videos, right? 69% of companies use social media videos to describe or to within their business, right? But we've even seen ones way down. If you look at it around 23%, let me try to annotate it right down here. Staff training videos. Some companies, only 23% use staff training videos, but now it is way easier to actually create videos for training that doesn't get outdated because you can dynamically generate it. Okay. Our agency, a number of times people say, let's use video to train people. My answer has always been no, because after a year, it is outdated. And then you throw that project in the garbage and you cannot reuse it. But now that AI can actually move so quickly, this is now possible. So AI is essentially making the impossible possible. It's not even just about saving time, but it's saying, hey, we've never been able to do this before. We've never had the manpower to do this. We've never been able to like get a budget together for a set design for the thing that we would love to do. Well, it's now possible. Not everything, but most things. But the question is, should you do it? Okay? Is it the right option? Just because it is an option doesn't mean that it's the right option. Now, we're talking about cost savings, and people say, well, yeah, you could just go on to whatever it is. You can go on to Google Studio AI, you just type a couple things, and you have your entire video produced. That's when I talk about AI and video, they think that one prompt equals one video. Let me tell you that is not the case. I'm going to show you today. You could create a video, but maybe not the video that's going to help sell your next customer. Now, when we're thinking about AI and video, you actually got to think about AI in the entire video process from beginning to end. And this is a very quick overview of the video process, but walk through this with me. So at the beginning, you got pre-production, and AI can help with assisting you writing the script. Now I'm going to say assist because you also think, is it on brand? What are we trying to communicate? What is the best way to do that? I've put through a lot of different ideas into AI and comes back with this mediocre, not fun, not insightful, not funny script. And you're like, well, it did its job, but that's just very mediocre. You can help by getting AI to visualize your storyboard. So actually like creating all the storyboards of the set. You can analyze audience data, research video trends, mock up locations, draft interview questions. On the pre-production side, this is not as much like just creating the video, but on the pre-production side of I'm thinking of a video project, all the time it takes to get up to the point where you're looking at going into production, AI can help in these areas. Now, in terms of actually producing the video, right now it's not like you have an AI camera. Well, not yet, but this could be something that's coming down the line. I don't know. But right now, a lot of production is actually pretty much the same, right? We're still needing high quality cameras. We still need lighting. We still need like good sound and audio equipment and all that stuff. Like we at Candy Box, we actually have an in-house studio, and not much has changed with AI, except for we're probably just using green screens a bit more because we can modify the background a bit. Then post-productions, oh, let post-production video process, let me count the ways that AI can do it. It can auto transcribe, it can remove noise. So if you've got like rain in the background, we used to like my our awesome video producers here, they used to have to like go into the audio and literally find the rain frequency and take it out. Guys, that is wizardry to me. I have no idea how they did it, but it would take them a long time. Now we've got programs where it's like take out this sound and then it will automatically do that. It can compile footage. We could take hours and hours of webinars and then try to create a quick synopsis of a webinar based on the content that is in it from what AI's opinion is. It can automate caption, it can remove unwanted objects, it can insert new elements. We're going to talk about all these things today. It can generate images, it can generate video assets. I'm going to talk a bit about zombies later on. You've seen that one, you may have seen that one. We're going to talk about it creating zombies, syncing our audio. It can help edit cuts, it can do a whole lot. Now, what people think that AI can do is we're just going to use AI to produce a video. So, dear AI, create a video that is going to help me sell my products or services. And we're basically saying we're going to let you do all the pre-production stuff. We don't really care about that. We're also like just going to just get rid of all this. We're just going to like type into the magical AI tool, and it's going to come up with something that is insightful and that will meet our business objectives. Not likely. Lastly, then we've also got distribution. So it can auto resize, generate metadata, draft text concepts of the actual distribution, create thumbnails, sorry, typo there, transdelate. No, it cannot transdelate. It can translate audio and subtitles, which is pretty exciting. You can now accelerate all of your outputs using AI. So now you can even take one concept and just say, now we're wanting to do it on our website and a carousel and a social media video and a cut down or everything like that. And that's all the heavy lifting stuff that we used to have to do. And now AI can do it quickly. Now, people have asked me, and even by email when I announced this webinar, they're like, are you going over tools? Lightly. And the reason why, literally, is that the tools are changing so quickly. By the time this thing goes out there, it's not going to be as accurate as it was. So, as of April 7th, 2026, here are a couple AI tools that you should know about. First one we want to talk a little bit about is Runway. Runway has come up with Gen 3 Alpha. And once again, Runway is just like they were really early on AI video. They're still a major contender. We've seen like every single update. It is becoming unbelievable what it can now generate. And I would say like if AI generation was like 95% accurate like a year ago, it's gotten up to like 99, 99.5 and almost like just not recognizable. You're just not sure what is AI and what is not anymore, which is transformative. We also see that Google AI Studio, we're probably spending a lot of our time in Google AI Studio. I actually have to say, we actually probably use all the tools that are here because different tools are good at different things. And so Google AI Studio VEO 3.1, unbelievable model. Google is definitely leading the pack now. In my opinion, probably a bit more than Runway, but like every tool has got its pluses and minuses in there. And just to show you an example of this, want to show you a quick video commercial that was shot 100% using VEO 3.1. And so this is like actual work product from 3.1. Now, I think this was about 6 months ago, so it even would have improved since then. Now, I also have to say this was like a pilot. I think it was done by an agency to kind of pitch for business. This didn't go live. This doesn't represent the brand. This is not owned by us, all those things, but it's on YouTube and it was shared. And I thought it was a really great representation of what VEO could do for a commercial. So once again, not live, not in production, wasn't actually used commercially, but found it online and we thought it was pretty amazing. So pretty awesome commercial there. I thought it was hilarious personally, and a number of the elements there they kind of stitched together. But as you can kind of see, the car and the person look different all the time. People weren't really moving like humans move, etc. So that was VEO. There's also Dance too, which is just like incredible multimodal AI video tool. Here is an example from Dance. quickly looking at that, and what this creator kind of put together as a mock-up, a few things notice. I mean, like the quality was amazing, but if you take a look at AI, sometimes a lot of things are just still unnatural. So the gear shift, he started the car and gear shifted with what? It was kind of confusing, right? And he shoved it into reverse and then back into drive while he was going along. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think he was kind of pounding his brake and pedal at the same time in an awkward way. And even the Ford logo kind of stayed on its edge as the wheel was turning and it couldn't figure it out. So I mean, we're getting so close to just everything being 100%. But as you watch it, you kind of think, all right, there's something going on here. Like there's something that's not right, which is actually a concern for brand, which we'll talk about in a bit. And also just a note on this, these are tools. Now, there's a common misconception that, oh, wow, that's really amazing. Look at this commercial that you could build with a single prompt. Uh, these are tools, but these things still take a good amount of time. We actually still need to do video editing. There's still stuff that we need to stitch together, and AI is not going to go front to back in one shot and create a 30-second ad at this time. And so right here, I'm just going to show you another example. And this is actually used commercially. I believe it was in Denmark. And this was McDonald's advertising in, I think it was December last year. Take a look at this ad. Here's the interesting thing about that commercial. So that commercial aired and it was pulled almost immediately. And I mean, hey, my hat off to them. They tried something new. The agency that made it, I think they quoted it as like, "Hey, we're trying to pioneer something brand new." And when you're pioneers, it's tough work. It doesn't always work out really well. But one of the quotes from the agency that actually created this was that it was 10 people on it, and they said that the quote was, "We hardly slept for 7 weeks." So I said, "All right, let's extrapolate that." So 7 weeks, hardly sleeping. I'm guessing those are 10-hour days. They could have been 12, but I'm just going to say 10. I think that's a good average. It's definitely not eight. Okay, it's not eight. It's probably 12. But let's keep going here. So 10 people, 7 weeks, 70-hour weeks. That actually equals 4,900 hours. All right. So hold that number in your mind for a second, saying to create this commercial, it took them 4,900 hours, which is how a lot of agencies take a look at things and price out the time and effort that it takes to get there. Now, from that, I also just asked AI, how many working hours would it have taken McDonald's to create the commercial? It's the worst time of the year without AI. And I kind of gave it a little bit more context here of the commercial and the shot scenes, etc. And it came up with this. It says, all right, the 45-second holiday commercial it would have taken about 8 to 12 weeks from concept to final cut. So maybe it's 8 to 12, but not working through the night. And then get this, racking up roughly 3,000 to 5,000 total working hours in between pre-production, the actual production days, including the full crew, camper operators, gaffers, grips, makeup artists, catering, etc. 50 people working 12-hour days. So this is about 800 hours, 1,800 hours, etc. So in the end, they probably spent about the same amount of time that it took to actually prompt that advertisement through. All right. So think about that for a second, right? So don't think about the creative. Think about to create it with AI was 4,900 hours. To create it with real people could be about the exact same. And so, not actually in this case, there was a lot of time saving. There was probably a lot that they had to do on the brand side to make sure that they represent McDonald's correctly and edits. So this one didn't edit. Now, the biggest problem with this campaign wasn't that it was AI. It was that they didn't like the concept. People actually like Christmas. That's the problem that they face. People are like, it's not the worst time of the year. We actually really do like Christmas. It is magical. And so, yes, it is a tool and it helped them accomplish something and it was very creative. But the strategy that was kind of put forward, I'm not saying it's the agency nor McDonald's. I don't know. I didn't work on either side there. But the strategy and the insight was a thing that didn't align with customer sentiment and what customers were thinking. Now, I want to talk about this kind of brings us on to the next section, which is really gimmicks versus gold. So what is working and what is not working in AI? And it's actually easier to go a little bit after what's not working because we keep seeing this over and over again. And this is all around the concept of a phrase that came out in the 70s, which is called the uncanny valley. And the uncanny valley is a phenomenon whereby a computer generated figure or a humanoid robot bearing a near identical resemblance to a human being arouses a sense of unease or revulsion in the person viewing it. Okay. And we've all experienced this in the last 2 years, right? Where you see somebody, you see an image, you see a video, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, like actually sometimes people feel sick. They're like, I don't feel good. Now, here's the problem. This is a big problem for companies because if you're advertising food and the person eating it makes you feel sick, that is not going to work for your brand. Like that's going to go against what's going on. Or if you are buying something B2B and you're trying to understand how do I trust this person? And then you think this person doesn't even exist. All of a sudden, your trust gets eroded, and you think, I'm not never dealing with that company. It's a bunch of fakes. And so the uncanny valley, this picture off to the right here, my question to you is this picture real or not? Okay, is this picture real or not? And I mean, we can vote or all that. I'm not going to bother us with voting during a webinar. You can just continue, hopefully, eating your lunch or drinking your coffee and watching. But but does it actually matter if it's real or not? Well, to customers it does because we're talking about like if it's not, then you think I don't really know if these are the correct shoes, if I trust this, if I like this brand, if I want to associate with my brand, are these kids in front of it real? Do I trust this product? But if it is real, then all of a sudden there is more trust than when there isn't. So there is this AI video uncanny valley when there's minor imperfections, abnormal blinking rates, disjointed microexpression, unnatural link syncing. There's these neurological pathways that have a cognitive dissonance that can then be transferred onto your brand. So when you feel like you're being deceived, all of a sudden you go, I don't actually trust anything that your brand stands for. So these shoes that you see here, that like if they're exactly the same as the shoes that you're selling, like almost exactly, but you realize that this text down here is always the same font that AI uses to put something out, like to create an image, then you think, oh, that's not real. And so therefore the shoes aren't real. And then if you're kind of looking a bit closely, the laces are a bit messed up. And then you think, I don't trust these shoes. And which is doing the exact opposite of what advertisements should do. Advertisements should give you a sense of trust and belief and like desire for what they're selling. And if you're repelling them, you're doing the opposite. You're literally paying money to dig your brand its own grave. The answer of this is yes, this is an AI generated photo. Now, do you hate the shoes more? That's up to you. I love this quote. Steve Jobs, still speaking to us today. A brand is simply trust made tangible. I'm going to read that again. A brand is simply trust made tangible. And Steve Jobs was one of the, gosh, he was just such a great leader in establishing trust. When he released new products, he could have had his marketing team publish it and put out all the features and benefits and all that stuff. But Steve didn't do that. What did Steve do? Steve went to that little theater in California and he spent 40 hours every time they did a release, 40 hours standing up on stage, going through the process of using his new products, speaking about it, touching it, doing different things, because he knew that it mattered that people trusted him and then he trusted the products. And so he built great relationships as a CEO with millions upon millions, if we want to call it over 1 billion people, because we didn't just trust in the product or the manufacturer, we trusted in Steve. So, the big question is when you're creating videos, are you building trust in your videos? When you're thinking about AI in a video strategy, it's great, but there's this kind of like healthy middle where on the left, it's 100% synthetic. We're not building any trust. On the right, maybe it's all manual work, it's just too hard. But right in the middle, AI augmented authenticity, we want to augment the unimportant, but then keep the real stuff. Now, you're all here today, so I might as well just use my video here, where we created a video, and now we actually used a fair amount of AI and created this video to talk about this webinar. So let me just play it to you for a second, just to remind everybody, and then I'm going to tell you how we used AI. Every single week, AI is changing video. We see updates from major tech companies every single week right now showing what you can now do that was not even imaginable months ago. AI has fundamentally changed the video game, but are you as a business actually using it for your advantage? This isn't about your company coming up with a whole bunch of AI slop and trying to make money off of it. It's not about you creating yourself a doppelganger so that they can automate your relationships. It's not about you incorporating dinosaurs into the background because everybody just likes dinosaurs. It's not even about Will Smith eating spaghetti. It's about your brand and the value that you can bring to your customers using AI to get there. I think there's a massive struggle right now that brands are fighting for authenticity in a market that continues to get more fake and more mediocre. This session is about how our creative team has analyzed what is actually working in the market and what is going to kill brands over time. Please join us in our upcoming webinar, and we are going to show you how you can use AI to your own advantage. So there was some obvious stuff there. If you can believe it, the dinosaur wasn't real. We used it to generate all those videos and the dinosaur stuff, the doppelganger, the I don't even know, the grandmother, I think there was a cat skateboarding, and that makes a lot of sense. You go, okay, no, that's obvious, but you're talking about AI. But what you don't know is that this video that I shot, I'm actually in front of a green screen. And the image in the background here wasn't a complete image. And so we actually had part of our studio, but then we had AI create the rest of it. We also had AI take the background image, excuse me, and then we even used a camera tracking feature where it looked like somebody was just holding a camera instead of it just because it's actually just on a tripod. So it just looks a little bit more candid. We also added the subtitles in it, and there's a whole bunch of other small things and edits on the audio. So yes, of course, we used it for the dinosaur, but there was a whole bunch of treatments and things we did along the way that enhanced the video, and we didn't have to we didn't have to change the set entirely to make this happen. Next video I want to show you here, we're just kind of showing different examples of good, bad, and ugly here. Let's take a look.
Have you tried Topper's new stuffed crust pizza? It's made with delicious Black Diamond cheese strings. My favorite way to eat it? Oh, skiing down a Black Diamond run, of course. So order some today because this tops any other stuffed crust.
All right. So another video here. So we actually shot this in our studio, and AI created the jump scene. We took the background, we just had a background image of trees and a ski hill, and we created that into a video. We changed his suit color because we didn't love it in post-production. We changed the background. We created the Topper's Pizza sign. We created the snow. Even the pizza that you saw at the end was completely animated. We created the music for it, and we added the sound effects in there. So in terms of how is it coming together, it's about kind of augmenting people and things to work together to make sense of this. Now, in terms of what this looks like in production, people say, okay, so you could just take this video and pump it into AI and just say, do all these different things. Well, unfortunately, we're not there yet. So we had to create, I think this is about, I want to call it 30 different individual videos. This was our kind of Google AI studio dashboard that we were kind of taking a whole bunch of things and then taking video editing and stitching things together. You're going to see a lot of stuff that's in here that was created that never actually ended up making the final cut because it wasn't on brand and it didn't work. Now, what is the alternative to this? We did this in less than a week, but the alternative would have been, okay, we would have actually had to go to a ski hill and rent the equipment and get all the video guys up there and get permits and everything. This would have taken us, I don't even know, maybe 6 to 7 weeks and a lot more cost to get that done. Let's go on to the next video example here. Right. So, did you like this video? Well, I I liked it, but I'm also just always so interested in AI tools. Um, Going through the online reviews and the YouTube comments, these are the three most popular YouTube comments on the video. First one saying the most profitable commercial in Pepsi's history. Second one, I really miss pre-AI internet. And number three, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That could have been like the title of this webinar here today. And here's the thing, why do people not like the video? Well, like, I mean, obviously they weren't trying to create like real otters. It's computer graphics, it's AI, there's a lot of stuff here, and so they were trying to do their best. But there may have been just the customer sentiment that people really liked real footage of real kids looking at these real trucks going through real towns with real snow. Like that's where we're at, right? It was it adding to the experience and the magic of Coca-Cola. My opinion on it, I like the commercial. A lot of stuff out there just saying, you know what, we would just prefer it to be original, right? We prefer it to be real. And so again, we've got to think about, is the tool helping us accomplish the goal in which we're setting out? Is it helping build confidence, build that feeling of trust and belief within the brand, or is it detracting from the brand? All right, we've had a couple bad examples there. I want to show you one that I think did really well. I think it's the next one. I really hope it is. Yes, it is. All right, here's an advertisement from Jeep just around the time of the Super Bowl this year. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And so really great insight here, like real people trusting a real vehicle, real areas, like and trusting a vehicle is important, right? Like you don't want to make it look like everything is just, AI, CGI, et cetera, because they're thinking, well, is that actually going to be my vehicle, right? So I think they did a great job, but still used AI in the area of humor and what they wanted to do to kind of bring that all together. So I personally thought that that was brilliant. Creativity is the ability to use your imagination to generate new and valuable ideas, solutions, or works. And what's happening is AI can help creativity excel and go further, but it's not just about using AI to come up with the creative idea and to launch it. This other one I have shared in another webinar before. I'm just going to quickly share here before we're wrapping up. And this is our commercial for a window company.
Wow, it's so nice and warm in here.
Well, that is vinyl built for you.
Now, if you haven't seen this before, so we filmed this. Now, this was filmed in the wintertime in a house in Mississauga, and there was a lot of stuff that we wanted changed on what was going on here. And so, kind of before and after, you can see left and right. We used AI to change the ugly out exterior winter into what would look like, nice, beautiful green golf course in the background, and it did really well, right? So AI really helped us do that. Now, over the next month, it became October, so we wanted to do some advertisements for Halloween. So we decided, let's use AI to make zombies. Now, it didn't matter how much our team kind of went through this process. We tried to make all the characters into zombies and zombie backgrounds. The biggest problem we found was that it wasn't helping us sell any windows. Uh, and that's the goal, right? Sell more windows. All it did was it was just gimmicky. And so finally we decided, you know what? We love the idea of the zombies. We love the ideas that AI can help us create these zombies, but instead of trying to get them to replace our characters, let's get them to go outside the house, and we can really talk about the advancements of how amazing the windows are in keeping the hot and the cold out. And instead of just keeping the hot and cold out, these characters talked about how, it was like it blocked the windows, blocked the cold air, but it also blocked the zombies from coming in and eating their brains. And now this would have cost previously, we're estimating about $250,000, but our team was able to take the original footage and pre-process it. I think it took, I want to say 2 weeks to go through the process and created this awesome commercial. The commercial afterwards was a hit online, helped us sell a lot of videos, and we were even covered in Campaign and talking about how small budget clients can now do really big productions. Now, in all of this, my constant reminder to people is that AI is not a creative engine. It is a prediction engine, okay? And it's taking a look at what has been done in the last 50 years of commercials and coming up with what's new. If we actually had asked AI to come up with a commercial for this window company, it wouldn't have gone to creating zombies because creativity by nature is unpredictable. Speak about unpredictable. Gonna in the last 5 minutes here, I want to show you the results here on our campaign around the big game. So during Super Bowl, we took a look at all the ads, and we do this annual series where we kind of go through and rate all the ads and rank them and discuss them, and it was really interesting. And our big game video series created about 60,000 views so far, and I'm going to show you just a very small clip of one of the videos. Oops, sorry.
Not the ugly one. It's heavy, heavy.
Specifically for the polar bear. I feel like taking their mascot is just another level.
So what we did here, oh, sorry for that pause there, Vanessa. My sincere apologies. Let's keep going.
Oh.
Pepsi's always there. We go. So what we did here is we ranked all these commercials. We went through. We had we were kind of like critiquing and commenting and doing all this stuff as an agency, which we do every single year. And people love it, and like people share it, and it really positions us as advertising experts, which is really great. Now, I going back to the results here, we had 60,000 views so far. However, after we shot this entire series of videos, which took, I don't even know, 8 hours and lots of chicken wings, one of our content creators, Anjali, was like, oh, let's videotape our videographer reacting to the halftime show. And that rogue video generated 867,000 views all by itself. I won't bore you with watching this one. It's a interesting piece. It's really short. It's 15 seconds long. But here's the main insight. People connect with humans. And we can scale that with AI, but they loved the kind of like unpolished human reaction to the halftime show, which was their discussion. And it is almost generating 1 million views. So it kind of 20x'd everything else that we had done because they were able to connect with humans. Quick summary here for us all today before I get to our offer. What we recommend, AI has unlocked opportunities for big ideas. There's things that we would have never been able to do before, like, the Toppers pizza, going down a ski hill and different things like that, where it just would have been too costly. It has now unlocked new opportunities of big ideas, big strategic ideas to being implemented. We do recommend to avoid the uncanny valley. All right. Avoid the uncanny valley. Do not replace your leadership with doppelgangers and think that people are going to attribute more trust towards your towards your brand. It's something that I'm really worried that brands are going to get into and are going to come back later and saying, man, we regret when we became unhuman as a company. Remember that AI can either enhance or ruin creatives. And so it's not about we have to use AI. It's how can we use AI to enhance our creatives and not terrorize our customers. AI videos take time and expertise to execute properly. As I showed you with all these different commercials, it is not just this thing of putting in a couple prompts and then all of a sudden your commercial popping out. There's still video editing, color correction, audio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, we may get to a point where it is becoming a lot easier to do it, but we still have professional video people in the loop. Same thing as in coding and development. They're still saying it's making coding faster, but it's about helping people that know how to do that go faster. And then lastly, strategic insight is more important, always more important than the tools. So with that, I want to open up the Q&A. And Joel, I think you need to put a HTTPS before that hyperlink. It's okay. It's his first time hosting everybody.
It's a copy paste.
There you go. But I'd love to open up for any questions about AI and video. I've also got Joel here as well too, one of our video producers. And so if I don't know it, I'm not sure if he would know, but hey, we can always try, right? So feel free. I'm just kidding around. Joel and I are good friends. If you've got any questions, would love to see it in the chat. I've seen all the different comments through there. Yeah, the pizza looked so real. I know, right? I was actually personally surprised that that pizza was created with AI. That's pretty awesome there. So if there's any questions, I will open up now. If you've got to log off, thank you so much for coming today. We really appreciate everybody coming out to this webinar, and happy video editing, happy marketing, and make sure you don't come up with something too creepy, unless it's zombies. Then if it's zombies, it's perfectly great here.
Daryl, you've
So
got 2 questions in the chat and you got 4 questions in the Q&A function. You can start wherever you like.
all right, perfect. I'm going to try to put that correct link. See if that works, Joel.
Hey, there you go.
All right, perfect. Great. How can one start learning video production themselves from your experiences? Is it just, or just want to build, sorry, if you just want to build on that as a skill set? Joel, I'm going to put that question over to you. You're way more qualified. You've been in video for a decade now, over a decade. What would you recommend to somebody that is getting started with video production?
The number one thing you should start doing in video production is just doing it, getting out. You have your phone in your pocket. Try with that first, see what you can do with it, and then make your upgrades as you need to. But almost everything you can do is from your phone in your pocket, and then you have all these AI tools that you can use to advance some of those features and functions, to make yourself look, or your brand look, the way that you need to. Again, try not to go down the route of Coca-Cola and doing everything AI. Put your face on video, and you can learn through your recordings and through your audio tools. There's lots of cheap but quality tools out there in 2026. So that's probably where I'd start, is just to try it first, do it first.
Excellent. That's perfect. All right, question from Brendan here. Great webinar. Where do you draw the line in using AI with clients? Do they question authenticity? Yeah, great question. So whenever we're doing a shoot, we actually are going to define what we're going to be putting in afterwards and what we're doing with them. And so we never just we will storyboard things out with them. And we have had clients that say, hey, I want to do this. And we'll say, well, that we don't recommend it because it could erode trust in the brand or in who you are. And so it's always kind of a conversation. Now, in saying all of that, you can easily go onto YouTube today and prove me wrong and say, well, this brand did it with this doppelganger and this worked really well. That's great. There's always exceptions to the rule. That's the wonderful thing about the creative space. Every single time somebody says you shouldn't do this in creative, somebody does it and then is successful. So it's like there's general rules of saying, hey, I would avoid these areas unless it's part of your strategy. And then, hey, maybe it's a really fun strategy to implement, right? But I would say you've just got to pay attention to things like the uncanny valley and saying, how would our customers react to this, right? How would the general public feel about this? Other questions here. If we film raw footage of ourselves talking about our new service offering, is it possible to have a full commercial edited by AI using the raw footage? Yes and no. So you can, like, if you get the raw footage talking about services, AI is not like, AI can kind of recommend these are parts that you can take out and edit it, but there is still editing software you would need to participate in. Also, if you're wanting to add anything, like when you're saying full commercial, I'm imagining that you're like, okay, you want to really enhance it. You've really got to kind of prompt all the way through. So yes, AI can help you. No, it's not as easy as drag and drop and just say, make this into full commercial. I wouldn't think that that's going to turn out a great results, but it is April 7th, 2026. That's where I stand on that today. Is it possible for me to create an AI commercial by myself for small business? Is it possible, or do you advise working with an AI agency or team? I have tried to create AI videos. I'm technically inclined. I'm not a coder nor a video editor. I have not been able to be successful with it. And sometimes you can get 80% there, maybe 50, maybe 80, maybe 90. But a commercial that is not done is not done. So it's kind of like saying, oh, I could do graphic design for my signage outside. And it's like, oh, you could. But if it looks like, your nephew made it for your shop and they're in grade 7, maybe that's not the right thing to represent your brand. So always you can test it and see. Now, that being said, if you're doing something on social, and social is kind of like a bit more fast moving, some of the pieces are like throwaway, doesn't have to be that serious. Yeah, maybe there's something that would be really cool. But you kind of said commercial, which for me almost seems like you also wanted commercial grade, pardon the pun. All right, next, is there ever an occasion where we shouldn't consider AI video for our marketing? So when great question. So I think I think even the like all the different phases that I went through, AI can be used to augment little things. Even it can help with music, even it can help with subtitles. So it's like there's always a place. It's almost like how much should AI take is the question, right? How much should it take over from what we're doing? And I think knowing what we know now with the tools that are available, I think like an even more fun question is what can you now do with your marketing with AI that you've never been able to accomplish before? So sure, let's say if you did like a conference video every year, you've done it every year, that's great. You know how to do that. What would you like to do with it? Like there's some new possibilities that are unlocking with AI. I think that's really exciting. It's not just about helping what is existing, but pushing forward into something new. Last person, how did you learn so much about AI? Mom, mom, is that you? No, I'm just kidding. To be honest, I would actually go back to what Joel said at the beginning. Strange, every once in a while he says something intelligent here. I just touch it. I just try to use it. I test things. I'm constantly looking at what are the tools that are out there. I read blogs about it. I listen to podcasts. I'm just constantly immersed in just learning about AI. So this has been since December of 2022 that I've been going, and yeah, I've got a lot of driving time, found time at the gym where I'm literally even just I know this is really nerdy, but there's one podcast I listen to, and the guy is literally just talking about the prompts that he's building and what he's getting back. I can't even see the prompts, but I'm just listening and learning and trying to understand how this stuff works. So it's really just time learning from multiple different resources and touching the tools. I will jump in because I've got a full minute left. Boosting an AI generated video, does it affect its ad performance? Great question. To be honest, I'm not confident I know the answer to this. I know that there are new rules in different areas. So for example, YouTube was publishing stuff in July 2025 about the algorithm and AI videos are not going to show up as much as other videos. I don't know within ad platforms, though. That is such a good question. And every company may be a little bit different on how they deal with AI and ad platforms. So yeah, that's one that I'm going to research. Feel free to shoot me an email. Daryl at Candy Box Marketing. You could probably find us online. And anyways, great questions. My goodness, this is a really active group today. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great time marketing. And hopefully it is digital marketing that actually works. Thanks, everyone.